Hello everyone, welcome to Aussie Wristwatch. I'm Jessica Liley, and today it's our Friday fact check and funnies. And what a week we've had, or I've had. I don't know about you guys. Thank you so much. I have hit some pretty, for me anyway, they're very small in the grand scheme of things, but for me they're huge milestones. Thank you so much. We've surpassed 1,000 subscribers, and I well and truly smashed that 4,000 hours of viewing time way before then. So clearly, even though I don't know a lot about watches and I just love talking about them anyway, you guys love hearing about it, for the most part anyway. So thank you. Thank you for the support. I really am deeply appreciative. I started the channel for a bit of fun, just an outlet for my hobby, and it's already surpassed my expectations, and yeah, it's blowing my mind. So thanks guys. I'm just gonna roll into the fact check, I think, and let's get started. Alright, so I should say, first of all, please hit the like button. It's working. If you enjoy my little banter and occasional whiny rant, thank you. Please subscribe and come back. I am here to have a good time, talk about watches, learn something in the process, and engage with you guys about this wonderful obsession that we all seem to have. Everyone's comments I read. I really enjoy. I also enjoy having a robust conversation with people, and thank you. So part of the reason I do these episodes is, I guess, a touch point for a little bit more engagement, to call out whether I've stuffed up in a video, which, let's be honest, does happen. I'm not perfect. Like I've said many times, I'm not a watch expert. I've bastardized all sorts of languages in a number of videos. My history on Panerai, someone commented the other day, it made their ears bleed just listening to me mispronounce words. So I apologize for that. I think I actually made my own ears bleed with that. I do fumble over some of my words. Notwithstanding, I studied opera singing like 20 years ago, and I learnt a number of languages. It's like I've completely forgotten all of them and how to pronounce anything in Italian, French, or German for that matter. So I apologize, but thank you for sticking with me. I also wanted to do a really big shout out, and I feel awful because someone made a comment in my moon swatch video, and my moon swatch is here. And in the review, I talked about how the Velcro strap didn't really sit right. And someone made this absolutely genius comment to turn the Velcro strap around the other way, and I did, and it fit perfectly. And I can't remember the name of the person who actually gave me that tip, and I was scrolling through the comments and I couldn't find you, so I do apologize for not remembering your name. I should have written that down when I wrote down your tip, because I actually write down most people's tips and watch tips and things to review as ideas. But in any event, you're a genius. It worked a treat. Since then, I've purchased a couple of other straps. This is by no means an endorsement, and I didn't get paid for this, but watch straps, I just ordered them online. They're a local company here. So a rubber strap, which looked pretty cool on, but also I got one of their NATO straps, which actually has worked a treat. So I'm gonna live with that one for a little while, I think. So thank you. But thank you for the tips. The Velcro turning so the Omega is at the top of the watch rather than the bottom. If anyone else has a problem with a smaller wrist or whatever it is, give that a go. Worked a treat. Wrist check today is my Panerai 422, and it's actually on a Horus strap, which was also a birthday present. And these straps, again, no endorsement, haven't been paid for this. This rubber is so soft. I'm still amazed at how amazing this rubber is and how good it feels on. So anyway, I'm sure everyone who has a Horus strap out there already knows this. It's not news, but in any event, I'm catching up as per usual. So the other note that came up was in my Luminox video where I talked about my Navy SEAL watch, and Specifically, there is a picture that I put up in the video at about 3 minutes 32 seconds, and someone wanted to know what that watch was. I'll pop the picture back up in this video to jog your memory, but I'm about 95% sure, based on my internet hunt, that it's the Scott Cassell Deep Dive Automatic 1523. So if anyone else has a contrary view to that, please let me know. I did hunt for a bit to try and find this one, and that's what came up on my search. And it looked to me like that was definitely the watch. But if I've got that wrong, because you know this is a fact check, but some people like last week told me to fact check my fact check. Who cares? But anyway, let me know if you don't think it's that watch, guys. Otherwise, I'm going with that. And again, whoever asked that, I did respond in the comments as well. Someone else in that video made a comment because I asked whether anyone knew whether I asked anyone if they were a Navy SEAL, and obviously no one responded to that, which I get. But someone did respond, not to say they were a SEAL, but basically that from their past experience, I think working in a watches store or brand, remembers an order for the Royal Australian Navy, so the RAN, with their clearance divers, which is their Navy SEAL equivalent. Their clearance divers ordered the Citizen Aqualand Diver Depth Meter Promaster computer watch JO1010-00E-44 So the conjecture there was that is the watch that they wear, or at least at a point in time wore. So I'm just going to throw that out there, and if someone knows any different, please let us know. But that's kind of where we got to, delving down into that detail. Another one, someone threw up this week that they'd watched my Magnum PI video and the Rolex Master GMT2 Pepsi. And I think in that video I must have said that Rolex created the first GMT watch, and someone commented back that it was not Rolex who indeed created the first GMT watch. It was Glycine and it's Airman, and I've probably pronounced their name incorrectly. Someone will pull me up on that. But according to Prestige Online, it was actually a little known brand called Glycine and its Airman, which debuted a watch capable of tracking 2 24-hour time zones in 1953. But it did not take long for Rolex to steal the show the following year with its GMT Master. So yeah, it appears that maybe someone else may have pipped them to it, but Rolex just did it better in terms of marketing and launch, perhaps. Subjective. Anyway. Okay, in my Speedy video, so my actual Speedmaster review, someone pointed out that the Speedy wasn't the first watch to the moon, but in their view, it was the Sturmanskie. Again, I've probably incorrectly pronounced that, so please forgive me. I'd never heard of this brand before. I since went and did a little digging in general. I don't think it's entirely correct based on my research, which again is just the internet, and I don't spend days and hours doing this, guys, but I give it a good hard crack. But it appears to me that the Sturmanskie may have been the first watch to orbit in space, but not the first watch to the moon. Again, I am happy if someone sends me the evidence to tell me I'm wrong. More than happy to take a look at that and put my hand up. So according to the Sturmanskie website, and I'm going to read this, so bear with me, on April 12, 1961, Soviet pilot Yuri Gagarin spent 108 minutes in orbit, making a full circle around the Earth in Vostok 1 ship at an altitude of 328 kilometers and a speed of nearly 29,000 kilometers per hour. I mean, that's extraordinary, right? Like, I know I must sound like a complete simpleton, but I'm not an aerospace engineer and I don't understand this stuff. So they're basically saying because of that, graduated from the Soviet Army Flying School, and as part of the graduation, all of those officers, or whatever you want to call them, were given a Sturmanskie watch. So the conjecture is that because of that, that is what he wore. That's what I seem to have gleaned from this information, rather than like an actual picture of it on his wrist. Now someone's going to send me an actual picture of it on his wrist in space. If you do, great. I'm happy for you guys to educate me. Basically, in looking at the Sturmanskie watches on their website, which actually look amazing, by the way, I can't begin to purport to know anything about the quality of the watch or the movement. I didn't go into that. But on a basic aesthetic look, they look super cool. I'm probably not allowed to say that given what's going on in the world, but I mean, it's a watch, so I'm just going to comment on the watch and nothing else. No politics. Doesn't matter that it was initially produced by the first Moscow watch factory since 1949. But they say that the watch is powered by a 15 joule caliber and it's based on a French R26 by LIPSA de Horologie. And this is again Sturmanskie's website, and they say that the Soviet Union acquired the technology back in 1936. So I suggest, if you haven't had a look at them already, and maybe again, because I'm new to all of this, I've completely missed the party on this. But the watches look super cool. I mean, I would quite like to have one in the collection just for the sake of it. But they're the facts for this week that I've come up with. The other one, you may have noticed, I put up a video the other day about the price reductions with Rolex. I've had a lot of views on that because, like it or not, guys, you guys can't get enough of Rolex. And so, of course, I'm going to talk about it because I actually am learning about Rolex in the process. I had no idea about wait lists until like 3 or 4 months ago. And everyone's decided to have a crack at me. Every man and his dog has had a crack at me about that on the website, which is fine. I'm just being honest with you. Like, it was news to me. And yeah, I've had my head under a rock. And if that doesn't make me a legitimate enthusiast, well, who cares? It is what it is. So I put up a little video. I talked very high level about prices. In my view, I said prices had dropped, but not significantly. Other people have agreed with that, and other people have disagreed, saying it's bottomed out at like 30 to 50%. I would suggest, yes, on certain models that has been the case, but on an overall point of view and based on the Watch Charts website that I was looking at, as a whole in its entirety over the last 100 or 108 days or whatever it's been about 5% overall. So of course there's going to be high differentials in between that to get to an average. That's how averages work. I don't disagree that some models, I think the Oyster Perpetual version, references of them anyway, because we have to remember that there's a model and then there's like the infinitum references that are attached to that model over time, and others drop more than others. Vintage models don't tend to drop as much. That kind of makes sense, right? But anyway, some of the Oysters have dropped like between 30 and 50% at a point in time. So yes, but you know, I was just having a little fun, and I've opened up the conversation, and it worked because everyone's been commenting, which is bloody amazing. I'm not a flipper, just to be clear. I've had a few people comment on that. I just did it as a discussion point for us to talk about, not so we could all decide to be flippers or investors. I mean, sure, I'm going to talk about a Rolex in the sense of how it retains its value from an investment point of view. Not because, sorry, I'm just laughing because my dog decided to get up and come and say hello. Not because we're very sophisticated here at Aussie Wristwatch HQ. My production assistant is obviously on her break. Anyway, I digress. I'll probably have to edit that bit out. So, where was I? Oh my goodness. Sorry, I was talking about Rolex and investments. Oh, there she is. She's just... There we go, guys. I'm not going to edit that out because that's hilarious. So Rolex as an investment. I mean, let's be honest. I buy watches because I love them. I'm not intending to flip my watches. I want to keep them. I love them. But of course, I'm going to talk about whether there's value in retaining those watches or whether they decrease in value. Like, I don't think having that conversation says anything either way. Likewise, Rolex. It just so happens that a Rolex depending on what price point you bought it at. Yes, I understand that, guys. The guys who made comments about that to me, I'm like, yeah, duh. Let's say we bought it all retail. Well, of course they're going to appreciate. It's the nature of a Rolex at the moment. So when I say it as an investment, I mean it in that way, not in I'm investing in order to then flip it to make a profit. And I'm not proposing to have to, you know, either way make a judgment on people for that anyway. But please keep the conversation going. I think it's super interesting. I think I love it when people just say, well, I'm not a collector because I don't know anything about watches. Well, okay, fine. That's why I'm doing this channel. I'm trying to learn. I'm actually trying to educate myself here. So please educate me. I've got a very exciting review that's going to drop tomorrow. So this is my Friday fact check. It's going up today. I am going to review this watch from Panzera. I will tell you all about it in my video tomorrow, but here's a little sneak peek. It comes in the most amazing little watch case. There it is. And I'm going to review that, guys. Their motorsport model, the Time Master 42. So stay tuned, because I'm very excited. I really, really enjoyed this watch. So, okay, that is my Friday fact check for this week. I'm sure there's other stuff out there. I'm keeping a list. You guys keep a list. Keep me honest. Please keep watching my videos. Hit the like button. In fact, smash the like button and smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. And please come back. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about this thing that we all love so much. These little amazing, expensive things we wear on our wrists. Until next time, guys, have an awesome weekend. Signing off. It's almost beer o'clock.